My name is Sardar Amjad Yusuf. I am from Jammu and Kashmir. I was very disappointed, very frankly, when the first speaker said that Pakistan's proxy war in Kashmir against India. I am from Kashmir, where for last 7 months there is curfew, where thousands have been hit by pellet guns by the Indian forces, and in hundreds have lost their eyesight. Even a child of 2 years have lost eyesight. And there are many international organizations, especially one organization from Sri Lanka, which said that they have donors and they can treat all these patients. And the Indians are not allowing the donors to be, these blinded to be treated. And you say this is a proxy war. It is very disappointed. Kashmiris are fighting the fight for the right of self-determination. It's a disputed territory which is occupied by India. Proxies are those people who are living in Europe, in states, and who come here and talk about the situations of the country where they don't live. Very frankly, it's not a proxy war in Kashmir.
Could you please ask your question?
My question is that when you talk about South Asia, you're talking about cultures, everything. My state of Jammu and Kashmir, it's under curfew for last 7 months.
Okay.
And thousands have lost eyesight.
Okay. You said it.
The issue, we always face one thing, that whenever we talk of our issues, because today's side event is on the genocide of Sindhi people. This forum of UN Human Rights Council has got venues for everybody. And of course, Kashmir is being discussed from both sides. You are presenting one side, there is other side as well, which proves that whatever you say, and of course it has to be decided by the international community and by conflicts have to be resolved. But please focus on the issue that we are talking about, the genocide of Sindhi people. The banning, Sindhi is not an official language is spoken by 50 million people. You don't talk about a word on this. You bring other issues, which you have got other venues when you will organize. I know you will be organizing your own. You talk about these issues. Here, at least this is the opportunity for us. Yes, ask about the cultural genocide of Sindhi people, and we are ready to produce and give you the answers and prove our case. That this is my assertion. After the Second World War, because this cultural genocide is not the first time that word is being used. President Roosevelt and Prime Minister Churchill, he said, the Nazi Hitler is carrying out the cultural genocide of Polish people when he was destroying Polish culture. The UN's ambassador, I forgot his name, he said China is committing cultural genocide in Tibet. Nobody in the world knows what is happening to Sindhi people. And this was our opportunity to present our case. That after the Second World War, I've got the figures. We don't have this time to provide that after the Second World War, there has been no cultural genocide of that ruthlessness. Can we talk about that? And leave the other topics to be discussed at other values. Thank you very much.
My name is Ahmed Qureshi, and I'm a journalist. I was listening to both the presentations of Ms. Greenwood and Mr. Luhana, excellent presentations on the situation in Sindh, and comprehensive, but I found a few things that were missing. One of the key things that we're missing and that I would like to ask both of you about is the role of third countries in terrorism in Sindh. One of the largest parties in Sindh, political parties, have been identified as having run terrorist training camps and have conducted urban warfare in Sindh and in Karachi. I'm referring to NQM. It's a political party. I'm sure both of you are aware of the party. So my question is, and the authorities in Sindh have identified a neighboring country, India, as being behind the training of the urban terrorists who have wreaked havoc in the province of Sindh. So what is your take on the role of India in exacerbating tensions, sectarian and linguistic and otherwise, in Sindh, which have resulted in the murder of, I assume hundreds, I think into the thousands of people over the past, I think over 10 years. What is your take on the role of a neighboring country in exacerbating terrorism and tensions in Sindh?
Last 10 years, we have been more affected by Islamizations and madrasa-inflicted crime or killings or genocide of Sindhis by the Wahhabi, the Salafi-supported madrasas than anything else. Let me complete it.
May I just refer to you?
No, let me complete. Let me complete.
Just to an attack in 2009 in Karachi, which is the largest city of Sindh. It was a Shia event. It was a Shia event, religious event, not very different than the attack on Sayman Sharif that you just referred to. And that attack was not done by any madrasa. It was done by activists belonging to a political party that is accused of being backed and trained by the neighboring country, India.
I would appreciate that you would not make any dialogue. And the floor is here. So Ms. Greenwood is holding the floor. So please do not interrupt.
So I was talking about it. One of the key things which we need to really focus on it is the systematic impact on the Sindh. Well, this is what we were talking about today. It's not one or two incidents, but the systematic impact. The systematic impact of genocide of Sindhi culture is very much more around the fundamentalism, really. Our school syllabus has been completely brainwashed. Our madrasas, and actually I wanted to bring the point of women's issue. Now just give you example one thing. We have 1,000 women every year, underage, kidnapped from Hindu minority, converted into Muslim marriages. This is a systematic of wiping out our indigenous community. Consequence of that, we have mass migration, exodus of Hindu Sindhis from Sindh, leaving the completely gap for the outsiders to bring a completely new version of Islam or whatever their reason is. So this is really destabilizing more than anything else for us. This is more dangerous for us. It has completely wiped out our secular beliefs of our youngsters because we are teaching, we are nurturing people about the jihad. This is more dangerous for us because it's not one or two incidents or MKM, whatever it is. But I could question is the terrorism of Haqqani group or Osama bin Laden. These are not Indian bride. This is not Indian train. These are the...
But that's not in Sindh.
Yeah, please.
It is in Sindh. This is Sayman Sharif. Sayman Sharif is in Sindh.
You're connecting two different things.
Sir, Sayman Sharif was in Sindh.
As a nation, and we're proud to be an ancient nation. We respect all nations, small or big. We have to decide and determine our priorities, that for our existence as a nation, the Pakistan establishment has threatened the existence of a whole civilization. We are not talking about 100, 200 man, 300 man, 400, 500,000 man. This is threatening the existence of an entire nation, of an entire civilization. And they have been doing it for the last 70 years so that they can completely wish all Sindhis were dead. Because once upon a time, Tika Khan was a general, and when they attacked Bangladesh and they massacred and butchered 3 million people, they said, we don't want Bengalis, we want their land. And we know that they want our land, they want our resources, they want our coastal areas. These are the most important questions. These are the questions for life and death for us. And rather than, because what is proxy? When you come here in an event, talking on an aspect, and you try to divert on issues of others, let me be focused on the issues. And when we go to your events, we don't use that proxy language and diverting the issues to, we just either sit or listen. Please, for God's sake, you don't allow us to speak in our motherland. Can you allow us to speak what we want to say and tell the international community on this international forum? Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, and I would appreciate that the issue that is being discussed would be held by question.
My question is, can you tell us about the condition of women in Sindh?
I just quoted about the question about the, at least about 1,000 underage girls are being kidnapped from minority groups in Sindh, which is indigenous minority, which is Hindus, and forced into the underage marriage. And despite we have a marriage law for the children, it's still not be worked on it. Then there's another thing is about, we have about more than 2,000 to 3,000 women every year are killed on the name of honor killing, and probably most of people know about honor killing is about the, it's practicing in many other countries. The issue is that, of course, violence against women is in many other countries, but there are some issues of a systematic thing and state-sponsored issues. So when I mention about the minority women's and forced conversion, is actually a member of parliaments are involved, there's a police involved, judiciary doesn't listen, judiciary doesn't even attend those cases, we call it first investigation reports, they are not entered, they're not being acknowledged, those crises. Then we have issues of honor killing. Again, honor killing is generally when the people or families come and talk about their cases, it's considered is a family matter, so it's not been against it. It's all about, it's around the, we call it Hudu guardians. And despite in 80s or 90s, we issued the women protection bill, but it's still the implementation of women protection bill is quite far. I haven't, and then also other issues are related with education. We have only 17% girls are in schools, so this you could see, and there's a 50 million population, we are talking about it. And the generally situation of actually the tribal, nomadic tribes, girls' situation is quite deteriorating.
And my question is for Ms. Vayorica Dancheva. Could you tell us about the role of European Union in protecting Sindhi culture?
My colleague present the situation in the Sindh people, in the women inside, and after with my colleagues in European Parliament, we'll decide about our project for these people.
Dr. Luhana, how is the World Sindhi Organization maintaining pressure on the Pakistani government on the need to protect Sindhi culture?
World Sindhi Congress has been working for the last 28 years. And I would like to tell you that every year there are 3 sessions of UN Human Rights Council. Every session we come here, we update the United Nations Human Rights Council about the human rights situation in Sindh, particularly because there are the main issues that remain is the enforced disappearances of political activists, extrajudicial killing of political activists, violence against religious minorities, the indigenous Sindhi people, and then loot of our resources. Not only that, we regularly organize conferences, seminars, discussion sessions, interactive seminars to inform people like you, because moreover we come over to you, moreover you inform, you will understand the situation of Sindh. So we organize this type of events so that we inform the situation what is happening in Sindh. And also when there are very, very urgent issues, for example, in the last couple of months, they have arrested literally hundreds of political activists who are missing. Under such circumstances, we regularly hold demonstrations. A couple of weeks ago, and the International Sindhi Women Organization, whose Dr. Rubina Greenwood is the founder chairperson, and we organized a demonstration outside Pakistan High Commission to stop this forced conversion of Sindhi Hindu girls. Similarly, about a couple of months ago, we organized a demonstration to stop enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killing of Sindhi political activists. We write to legislators, we write to MEPs, we write to our MPs, we write to Prime Minister, we write to senators and congressmen. and then we communicate with the international human rights organizations such as Amnesty International, such as Human Rights Watch, to inform them so that they can develop pressure on Pakistan to stop these violations. And hopefully, with your people, support of people like you, hopefully this voice will go louder and louder. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any other question from the audience? If there will be no other questions, I think that we can pass. If you have any other issue to deal with, if you do not have to want to hold the floor, I would like to thank you very much and congratulate you for the presence of the panelists and for your own presence over there. I think it was a very important session that showed us how deep is this question of the Sindhi cultural genocide. I myself learned with it, and I hope we will have good news on the future, that this issue will not continue to be sidelined, and that this tactic of trying to speak of things that have nothing to do with what we have on the table will not succeed, and that the Pakistani authorities will be forced to address the issue and will be forced to change the gear of their policy. These are my wishes, and thank you so much once again. Bye-bye.